It's going to be Raymond Bynoe to start the attack from the far end.
Plays a lot of his cricket on the North American circuit, Bynoe. Both in Canada and the US.
Yeah. Would have played for Pickwick in the local competition. There's a great deal of energy about his action. Let's have a look at it. I always like to see him bowl. He winds up to bowl, Bynoe. He's going to bowl to Perryman, a left-handed batsman. Would have represented the Barbados at the under-19 level. Here we go. Here we go. Whoops. I like to see him bowl.
As I said, winding.
There's a lot of energy in his bowling. Seems as if he never gets to the wicket, Bynoe. And in his brand name shades as well. Strong breezes coming across the ground as well. Very good work indeed from the field up at the mid-off, coming across to his right. So it's been a quiet over so far from Bynoe. We'll get runs there. Surely two. Good work by the big man Bob inside the circle at short third man. So with one to come, Bynoe would want to finish strongly here. Just conceding 5. Just a single. So I would think he'd be happy with that. Just 6 from the over. With 2 gone, the Warriors batting. They're now up to 13 without loss.
Well, you mentioned a very quiet beginning here by the pair from the Warriors. After that early boundary in the first over from...
I would think Perryman missed out on that. It was short and wide. Looking to go through point. But I really love to see Bynoe bowl. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of action. Here we go again. I love that. Here we go. Whoops. Again, he is lucky to get away with a short ball. But a heavily packed offside field. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men inside the circle saving 1. Well, it's almost a medium-paced delivery. And Perryman undone by the bounce. Now we've had 3 balls gone, not a run scored. Something must give here, one would imagine. But as they say, he's bowling to his field. He's got a short third man, backward point, cover, extra cover. There's a short extra cover and mid-off inside the circle. Playing with soft hands and getting a run. I suppose he feels Perryman, I can't get it away, so let me just get a single and give you with a strike.
Well, yes, a good from Bynoe being causing Perryman some problems with that extra bounce. I guess the feeling he's getting the ball to zip off the pitch also. So not easy to read. Bynoe, as you said, with this extravagant. Well, not only his action, his whole approach. It starts from the very beginning of his approach. There's just a couple of hops, then the hands are flying all over the place. Then we get into the delivery.
Well, that's played delicately. Just a single. It's been a good over so far. for the field inside. Just 2 runs from the over. 1 to come here. And Bynoe will want to finish strongly. I would think Perryman will be looking for a boundary here. He's been hemmed in by some very good off spin from Bynoe. Just a single. It's been a good over for the off spinner. An over in which just 3 runs came. 4 gone. The Warriors are 35 without loss. That's very well played. And an excellent stop as well by Bynoe. Moving to his right, down at that backward square. Certainly saved the boundary. Good work.
Yeah, nice movement across the outfield there by Bynoe diving. And then a good throw also into the keeper.
He's a good cricketer, Bynoe. As you said, plays a lot of cricket outside of Barbados. And generally is good with his control. But I mean, the work of Bynoe here, having to stretch at the last minute and saving a boundary, that's very good work indeed by Bynoe. Saving a 4, surely.
So he's got some 4 men in this inside the circle on the offside, and he's been rather all over the place in this over.
Now, chance for catch. Catch taken.
But of course,
it was one that was short, hit in the air, and that man, Bynoe again, coming off the boundary. He's been very brilliant in the field. Down on the backward square boundary, takes the catch. Another wicket goes. It's 88 for 3.
well, one of those 4 men I mentioned to you here as such.
Yeah, I mean, he took it from maybe on the line of the off stump, hit it across it. It was in there for a long time. And good judgment to the catch. Bynoe's been brilliant, not only with his bowling, but with his fielding, and pouches the catch. So Jaden Roberts comes to the crease now. So the final ball is about to be bowled. They look for the second run here. They will come back for it, even if someone has run out by a long way. And that man again, Bynoe, has been brilliant. Good return. Wicket goes off the last ball. And the Warriors, well, would have expected a bit more than this. Good work by the Settlers, who were already qualified for the semi-finals.
The points table currently in 2nd place. And the Voyagers playing their final match. Officially eliminated from the tournament. It could be another one, and it's 2-2 for Aston Bob. And Caston Stout it was who came in at number 3. And straight away, the Settlers showing why they've been so dominant in this tournament.
Well, it seems as if the Voyagers really have lost their way. And got 2 balls, 2 for naught. Bob on a hat-trick in the first 3 balls of the innings.
Well, this is a team that do like to bowl a lot of spin, but don't think they would have been expecting 2 early wickets in the first 2 deliveries. It's always a big setback in the 10 over format, just 60 deliveries around the wicket, Alston Bob, and trying to take on that fine leg fielder up in the circle, but didn't time it. So another setback. So it's going to be spin from both ends. Raymond Bynoe, the off spinner, into the attack. And you think about this Settlers team, Jamal Warwick and the captain, Nicholas Curtin, who they brought in an off spinner. They really have so many spin options to go through. They could easily bowl 10 overs of spin and not even use their full arsenal of spinners.
Well, yes, and maybe the way things are going, that may just be the case. Team's under pressure already.
So Lucas Jones now will look to rebuild things with Springer. Springer's been probably their best batter, the Voyagers. This has been an excellent start though. Slip in place, aggressive from Warwican. And the two out the circle, pretty conventional for the off spinner. A long on and a deep mid wicket. Just lifted, but there is that mid off in place. How important do you think it will be for the Settlers to win this game and try to fight for that #1 place in the table?
Yes, I mean, obviously it's a very important game for them. First of all, to get the victory. As you said, you know, once you're in a position to fight for that position, you know, you suddenly draw confidence from it. If they can win this game and win it easily, I mean, that will help them tremendously.
So Akeem Springer again, he's had to reconstruct the batting innings mainly when he's come in. He's come late in the tournament, but ever since he's come to the BIM10 tournament, he's been a revelation for them and probably the only batter with consistent runs in this tournament. Played in the gap, and this will be more runs for the Voyagers, but they need a lot more where that one came from because it's still just 3 runs from the over and just 1 delivery remaining. Got away with that, Raymond Bynoe. So another tight over for the Settlers, and this is an excellent start to their final group stage match in this BIM10. End of 2 overs, 4 for 3. Other members have gone past 100 runs. So that tells you all you need to know. They've had a couple of games where they've actually tied and not been able to win, and that's cost them. Went for the big heave, but so they have had struggled to get those wins consistently in the tournament. Goes again in the gap this time. Cow corner. A vacant area, splitting those 2 fielders in the onside. And Anton Lucas Jones, well, much needed from the Voyagers' perspective.
Yeah, good shot. A lot of open acreage in that area. Long on is fairly straight, and mid wicket is squarish. So he's taking that from off the leg.
That one got a bit of extra bounce, and we have seen that at times. Much slower deliveries, getting some purchase off of this surface here at the 3Ws Oval. So something to keep an eye on, and I think that will keep someone like a Jamel Warwican very happy, knowing the amount of spin he has on offer. Again, and Raymond Bynoe is a tall man, but that is considerable bounce from a pretty foolish length.
That's extraordinary bounce. Actually, there's a little too much bounce and turn in this pitch at the moment. Seeing 2 balls have cut the batsman in half.
Do you think it comes down to their early struggles, it comes down to the surface, or you think it's just been good bowling from the Settlers?
Well, the first 3 wickets obviously had nothing to do with the surface. There were the shots played by the batsman. If one of these batsmen had got out to a couple of those balls that turned and bounced, then you could say that. But the dismissal, the 3 dismissals really, the manner of the dismissal, this big swing down to mid-on, nothing to do with the pitch. The thinking behind the way Warwican is bowling, I find it very, very hard to understand. Maybe he believes that he'll eventually miss one.
This time though, he'll get his man easily taken by Bynoe, but you think the damage may be just done because 18 runs have come in that over, and Jamel Warwican will be disappointed, the captain.
Well, I mean, that was a very poor over. There's no satisfaction in getting 1 wicket by going for 18 runs at a time when you've got the team really on the back foot, and you know, he may feel justified that he's got a wicket by tossing it up. I think in the context of this game and the context of the innings, really, that has been very, very average bowling.
Well, I think the Voyagers is on the flip side of that.
50 runs in this power play if they're going to stand a chance, Nikhil.
It's going to be another spin option into the attack. Raymond Bynoe, the off spinner now. Would you have gone with Carter to open the innings?
Possibly not. You still need a little time to see what's going on in the game, because losing his wicket obviously would change the momentum of the innings and so on and so forth. So, wait and see.
Curtin is quick, but not quick enough. So Perryman, first boundary for him. This is right where they want to be, within striking distance.
That's Perryman going after Raymond Bynoe, a guy that plays his trade in Canada, usually very economical bowler in the shorter format of the game. Good to see him on the park. Raymond Bynoe back in Barbados and looking to make some inroads here for the Settlers.
Bynoe's been another one of those additions, like Curtin, late in the tournament. He's in Canada playing cricket, but now has returned. Have to rebowl that one though. Very wide, very quick as well. This time over the mid-off, and this will be runs for Hakeem Perryman. Good strike of the cricket ball.
Yeah, pretty tall. He was able to get on top of that delivery. But you have to see more of this. You have to get at least another boundary or two to stay on top of that rate. Really, really needing these early exchanges to be close to that 50 mark if we're going to stand a chance, Nikhil.
Kareem Aline, what a catch! But no, put down. Thought he may have held on. Just tricked me, Aline. He looked so elegant. I thought he really had it in his hands. He got big mitts.
He looked like he had it. He really did. But that's the shorter boundary, as we said. Just about 655 to 60 meters. Perryman just did enough. Ali, he is a pretty tall guy as well. He possibly misjudged it. To be fair, Warriors won't mind that at all.
Just over that short third position. Bit of indecision. Perryman is a young man, but he really packs the punch. He connects it out the middle of the bat.
Yeah, actually, usually, Nikhil, he's usually a more submissive type batter. Certainly last year he was not playing like this, and this T10 format is asked of him, you know, to just add to his game a bit. He responded really, really well, and again, this is what different formats do. It's all about how the young men go about preparing their games for the different formats and transcending those formats, because obviously we love to see counter-attack, for instance, in a longer version of the game, or if he has to, be very resolute at the crease in the longer version as well. So, you know, this exposure at this level in this tournament for the youngsters of Barbados, you know, it only augurs well for their futures.
Come back for two, but I think the main thing in this Settlers bowling approach will be minimizing the boundaries. Still though, 18 runs from the second over, and they're right where the Settlers were. 28 after the first two, where the Settlers were 29. And again, a formula that has worked for the Settlers. Spin, spin, and more spin. Haven't seen any seam into the attack for the first four overs, correction. It's gone high. Kareem Aline under it. He doesn't drop too many, and he takes it safely in the end. That was the wicket the Settlers were looking for, and Bynoe backed. Bynoe striking.
Yes, you have to say a decent enough stroke from Zidane here to the one of the longer side of the boundary. Really a nice catch by Kareem Aline. What more can we say about this guy as a cricketer? You said it, spin, spin, and more spin. Their plans continue to work. The run rate is still pretty much up there. We get an idea of how the Warriors are thinking to see who's the next batter out of the pavilion. For my money, it has to be Jonathan Carter. We wait to see who comes. But for my money, it has to be Jonathan Carter. This game just has enough in it that if he gets going, he can make a significant impact on the replay there. Nice reverse cut Australian style, as we say. Yes, and Jonathan Carter saunters out to the field. So this is a good positive move in theory from the Warriors. There's still the likes of Kimar Smith in there who can get along with it, but at this stage of the game, Captain Carter has to come and take responsibility. Let's see how he goes.
Jonathan Carter in at number 3. Now this could easily define the game. What a day of cricket it's been. We had a semi-final number 1 which saw 118 runs being chased, and now 137 runs on the board. And if Carter and Perryman get away like they did early in this tournament when they posted 144 correction, then this run chase could well and truly be on. It's up for a place in the final come tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. start. You don't want to miss it based on the action and entertainment we've seen today.
Interesting to note though, Nikhil. I don't know if you have those stats there. Many papers in front of you, many gadgets. Can you tell me how many maximums were struck in the innings of the Settlers, just to get an idea of their boundary striking?
7 sixes hit. 3 of them off the bat of Kadeem Aline.
There were 9 in the previous game from the Guardians, correct?
9 from the Guardians. So 6 hitting has been gold, especially with this smaller side. It's been intriguing to see the way teams have structured matchups. No long off in place, inside the circle, in the power play, and Hakeem Perryman continuing in this destructive nature.
So that's one of the 6s that is needed for the Warriors. How many have they gone so far as innings? I made that 2. They'll possibly need at least 7 more strikes to get close to the line.
Wonder when Jamal Warrican decides to go to a seam option. Nonetheless though, just 8 runs from the over and a wicket. Great comeback from Raymond Bynoe.
Yes, so the Warriors though, they're close to that 50 mark. He does have a long off in play. He does have a sweeper in play, so possibly that's what Jamal Warrican is asking of him.
Straight to the man. Straight to the man. It's a danger man. Carter drops to his knees. He can't believe it. That was the wicket that they wanted. And could that be game, set, match for the Settlers?
But as I said, Nick, it clearly was the plan of Jamal Warrican to ask Clark to go across Jonathan Carter based on the field. Carter, he took the bait. He really didn't have a choice. He struck it reasonably well, but Raymond Bynoe was still able to settle on the boundary and take a reverse cup catch just about shoulder height. So he didn't get the distance he was looking for. Good planning by Jamal Warrican. Remember, Jonathan Carter usually is more adept to the spin as well. So you have to remember, these 2 guys would have represented the West Indies on the 19 team in the recently concluded on 19 World Cup. 2 very good players in their right, showing the wares here for the world to see in this Dream 11 BIM10 competition.
Had a really good start to the tournament. Paris got 20 in the first game, then 50 from 24 deliveries, but in the middle lost his way. Raymond Bynoe into the attack. He scored 14 total runs from 5 innings, which can be the nature of this 10 over format, but in the last 3 he's been excellent for them. 33, 16, and now 17 from 5. And we'll be sizing up Bynoe, ball spinning into him, hitting into the smaller side. But instead has to depart. And every time we see one team take control, the other one fights back.
Ebbs and flows. I know you did say that you were looking for a better spin to Shakir Paris, but this actually is a classic Raymond Bynoe wicket. He likes to use 3 men behind point. He bowls that hard length into the surface. He asks you to pierce the offside, particularly with a cut. And there was Shakir Paris in that no man's land because it was a very good length. And he could only succeed, obviously, in getting it to that man in that point region. I have to say credit to Raymond Bynoe, and this is his accustomed fashion, particularly to the right-handers. It'd be interesting to see if he will change the field to Kyle Corbin, because we know Kyle Corbin likes to come inside the wicket and go over that square leg region. But certainly this is what Raymond Bynoe is very, very good at. This is what he's been selected for. You would have seen Raymond Bynoe in some competitions in Canada, I assume, Nikhil. How has his form been over the year?
Yeah, he's been a big wicket taker for a lot of teams in Canada where he plays his cricket on very conducive surfaces for spin. But it's going to be a big challenge now. I think even though Paris is dismissed, he's done his job. 17 from 6, sorry. Giving them the impetus required to start this run chase. You want to get a big start. All of a sudden that asking rate is below 10. But the captain, this will be the wicket that they will look for, because he has the ability to take a game single-handedly away from you, Kyle Corbin. At a ground he knows very well. He's played for a number of years.
This is the passenger player for me. Bynoe to both Alston, the holder, and Captain Corbin. Yeah.
Down on one knee. Just what you spoke about, Jamal Smith. Inside the line of the ball. Does well, Alston Bob. Keeps it to just 2.
Yeah, that is the shot that I was looking for from Kyle Corbin. He will come inside his wicket and go over that square leg region. I don't know if there'll be any adjustments. Jamal Warkamp will probably tell him, well, do that again, if you will. There's just a bit of a chance here for the Settlers. If they can prize on Kyle Corbin, all of a sudden, it will be held to skelter. Corbin needs to keep his wicket here as well.
Almost was an opportunity for Teron Gibson. And a few tight overs now just puts a bit more pressure back on the Guardians. Just 3 runs from this over and they've got the wicket. And Bynoe, like Nicholas Curtin, has been a late addition but a masterful one for this Settlers team.
Little field adjustment here, just a bit of byplay.
In the gap, and that will be runs. First boundary for Corbin, and he's underway. But an excellent over in the context. 7 runs from it and a wicket. 25 for 1, 37 for 1.
Remember the discussion we were having previous games, Nikhil, when we were wondering if bowlers should bowl their full allotment in successive overs as opposed to holding them back. I suspect Raymond Bynoe will go again based on how I see Jamal Warkamp trying to set up this game possibly for himself to come in the depth and try to stifle the Guardians. We have a look here. It looks like Raymond Bynoe. Remember, I said Raymond Bynoe, he will bowl to that cut plan, as it were, those 3 men behind point. First initiative way back then, Nikhil. I don't know if you were a big cricket fan back then, but the BT team, now known as Lime, but then Lime, then Gladiola. There's a guy called Emery Holder, the spin pooch boss. That was his line of attack. Courtney Brown was the captain at that time, and it gave you an insight into how you could actually restrict people in the power play. And this is a plan that certain off spinners use. Raymond Bynoe, he fits the bill. That's what he does well.
67 from the remaining 7 overs in this innings. He's just so powerful. Authoritative from Alcin the Holder, who was the star in the semi-final yesterday. And he's looking to be the star again for his team in the grand finale.
So, again, once more, you have an experienced batsman looking to drill that delivery just wide of long off. Kyle Corbin scored a boundary off Raymond Bynoe in the previous over in that region as well. And Alcin the Holder doing that as well. Possibly may have to change the fielding angle just away from that mid-off position if Raymond Bynoe will continue with this line of attack.
This time though, Bynoe strikes, and it's that plan again, forcing him to cut. Holder hit him for a boundary, he went back to that length, and this time gets his man. Here come the Settlers.
The cut plan, as it were, works once more again. First removing Shakir Paris, and now Alcin the Holder falling as well. Very, very difficult customer is Raymond Bynoe when he's on the money. He will err from time to time, but majority of his deliveries will be in that region where he's asking batters to cut behind those 3 points. So, interesting proposition here, Nikhil. We have 2 batters who have scored for the Guardians back in the hut. The Guardians 41 for 2, 3.2 overs, just 4 deliveries left in this power play block. The question is, do they try to go hard in these 4 deliveries, or do they see out this period and decide that they've had enough? The run rate is just about 10 and over. What say you, Nikhil?
I think this is a perfect run chase for someone like a Shane Mosley, who's shown in the tournament that he can spend some time at the crease. You've got Corbin at the other end, but if the Settlers can take another early wicket in the sense of this partnership, all of a sudden I would say the game goes back in their favor because a new batter will bring dot balls and build some extra pressure.
Pressure it is, Nikhil. Pressure right now on the new batter. If Settlers can get one more wicket inside of this power play.
Goes the off the mark straight away. Interesting to see how Kyle Corbin now adjusts.
Very interesting indeed. Remember we said he would look to go over that backward square position. There's no feeling change to the deep wicket and the long on. What does Kyle Corbin do here now? Does he look to go after another boundary or two in his power play and just sit on that rear, or does he bat out Raymond Bynoe? Is he looking to access the offside, possibly going over that mid-off region instead of going into his wicket? Left to be seen.
Mid-off was up, and it will be runs. A boundary as well for Kyle Corbin. And even on that length, which is tough to hit, just able to hit it in front of square, and it tells you about the skill of Corbin.
Yeah, and as I said, it was easy for me to read in terms of his possible options. His safest option was to go over that mid-off region, and he did so well enough. So he's gotten the boundary, and Corbin is an experienced campaigner. He would know he would need to go deep, and probably would not take any chances unless the ball is in the area again. He does have that shot that he plays very well, going inside the wicket and going over square leg. That's another boundary option as well.
This time in the onside, and this time more runs. Robust from Corbin, and he could be shepherding this run chase, the captain of this Guardians team. He's been Mr. Reliable with the bat in hand as the 50 comes up inside this fourth over.
Yes, very good term used there, Nikhil. He will have to shepherd this innings. He's done so again. He's gotten that second boundary, minimal risk as well, up through that mid-wicket region. So really and truly now, the Guardians firmly poised in terms of this run chase. They're right on the rate.
Wicket is Corbin, and he's gone. And Bynoe's got 3. The Settlers are right back in this game. 54 now from 36, and 2 brand new batters at the crease. You cannot count out this Settlers team.
So remember, Nikhil, I kept saying it, he plays that shot very well. He goes inside the wicket, usually likes to go over that square leg region. Joe Melwark saying to him, if you want to do that, you can. I'm leaving the field in. No, the question is, Nikhil, he got 2 boundaries in this over. He is the most senior statesman. Was this advice off basically the last delivery of the power play of the dangerous Raymond Bynoe? Was this advice to go for the other boundary or see what was left? Well, that would be conjecture at this moment. What we do know is that another batter is at the crease, a new batter is at the crease, albeit that the Guardians are 50 for 3 right on that runway. 3 critical wickets are down. Captain Kyle Corbin falls. We are in for a stellar final. All of a sudden, the Settlers are the ones under pressure. Can the Guardians clinch the victory here?
22-year-old Demel Evelyn, he has to be smart though, because they're 9 wickets down. The 1 delivery away, the Settlers. Goes Yorker, and it's taken. What a blind of a catch to win the tournament. Zidane Clark has pulled off an unbelievable catch, and the Settlers are first ever champions. Evelyn is in shock. What a finish to this game of cricket. This is the tournament you want to watch.
My goodness gracious me, could we have a more fitting end to such an enthralling final? Demel Evelyn pulling the Guardians back, and just when it seemed that he was just in the grass, Zidane Clark says no, it's in my grass. What a wonderful diving catch away to his left there. A full delivery from Kevin Stout. I hope we see that on the monitor. Cameraman, please tell me you've got that. My goodness gracious me, that powerful finish and a fitting end for the Settlers team, and they are victorious here in this BIM10 sponsored by Dream 11. You have to say, what more could we ask for? That grand finale, that final delivery, summing up what this tournament has been.